Noisy fucking birds. Just no escaping them. Even in the middle of town. Although, this is the edge of town, but nonetheless. Anyway, now that thing's out of hibernation and back on the road, I can get the engine pulled out of my bug. This is my second Subaru motor. It hasn't actually ever been out since I first put it in November of 2009. It's still running perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm only dropping it out so I can strip it down and do some mods to it. They're pretty straightforward to get out. It's not much more involved than a air-cooled V-dub motor. Don't think I can quite do it in the 3.5 minutes I got a V-dub 1600 motor out in, but it generally takes me a bit over half an hour to get it out. The biggest hold up is draining 15 litres of coolant out, and I don't want to evacuate my air conditioning, so I'm going to leave the compressor in the car and I'll just suspend it from the deck lid hinge there. But I've set this car up to be real easy to get the engines out of. The deck lid's about a minute to remove. The number plate light wiring just unplugs there, and the hinges have got quick release R-clips in them, so they just pull out and off the deck lid comes, and my deck lid's, my apron rather, is removable too. This is a fiberglass one, but I did have the original metal one removable too. It's just held in place by the mudguard or fender bolts. They just clamp it up. So just got to remove the bumper and take the valance off, and it's right to come out. It's really not much different to a Volkswagen engine to remove. It's just got the 4 bolts bolting it to the bell housing, and that's about it. The electrical's all nice and easy to unplug. Just got a standard V-dub throttle cable attachment, and exhaust comes out with it, but I'll remove the actual box because it doesn't quite get past the bodywork there. Alright, well, it's all ready to drop out. First thing I had to do was drain the coolant. That was just a matter of popping the lower hose off. That's all drained out now, and top hose is off. That runs up to the header tank. I don't have a heater core in it, so I haven't had to do anything there. It's just got a loop on the old heater pipes. Got the throttle cable disconnected. 2 fuel lines are off. All the electrical there is unplugged, plus the couple of sensors down there. And my air conditioning compressor's unbolted. I'll just have to swing that off the hinge. So that's all I've had to do. Now I'll just have to unbolt the 4 bell housing bolts, and out it comes. I've also taken off my exhaust. Normally I'd only have to take the actual box off, but because the heads have got to come off anyway, I've taken the header off as well. So that's my exhaust system there. See, I've got a unequal length header I made up. That's what gives it the choppy turbo engine sound. Got a high flow CATCO catalytic converter. Unfortunately in Australia I've got to run a CAT on it, and a 12-inch Mercury turbo muffler. That's only been on a couple of months, just long enough to burn the sticker off. There's my intake there. Something else that I need to revise. And there it is out. Comes out exactly like a Volkswagen motor. You can see the adapter kit here. Got this, it's 12mm plate steel, cut to the shape of the original Subaru bell housing. That just bolts into the original Subaru gearbox bolts. And then it's just got the studs of the original Volkswagen pattern. Top right one's still in there. That holds the starter motor in. And then it's just got the custom flywheel. The very centre of it, right in there, is obviously machined to fit a Subaru crank. And the outside of it, all the ring gear and the clutch surface, is all Volkswagen. So it uses a 200mm Type 1 clutch and just a standard starter motor. I've got a XED Sports Tough button clutch in there, and matching throw out bearing. Even comes with pretty matching pink grease. Sweet. And for a starter motor, I was using the original Type 1 Super Beetle, but I swapped it for the self-supporting semi-automatic stick shift Beetle starter motor. They're a bit more high torque, self-supporting, so no more dealing with that bastard bushing. Anyway, now I just have to strip this thing down, get the heads off and go from there. I've been really happy with this motor. It was a really good buy. See, it is absolutely spotless in the coolant galleries. Nice clean intake. See more nice clean coolant in there. And even the oil breather, positive PCV, is absolutely spotless. Absolutely runs like clockwork, but it's only supposed to have 100,000 kilometres or 60,000 miles on it. By the state of the engine, I'd tend to agree with that. It was imported from Japan. That's my heater loop there. Very important that that's in place if you don't have a heater, because that's how the water pump on these work. It comes back in there and controls the thermostat. So yeah, now I've got to get to work and strip this puppy down. See, I managed to suspend my air conditioning compressor just there without having to evacuate it, which was part of the way I designed it. There's my header tank and my K-for bar kind of buried under all that wiring. It's a 5-bar kit. It's got those back bars, very front ones there, and one across the middle, bolted to the shock tower, and my speed sensor there. That's about it.